Alright, now the only script that you'll be inputting would be here. I don't know, local or, no, let's just do server script. Alright, so we're going to be calling player as in the admin. So player is equal to, and now how we're going to do this is by getting, well, let's back up a little bit. Once the game has loaded, this will be copied to the player's player GUI. So instead of this being starter GUI, it'll be actually player GUI. If that makes any sense. So if we were going to be getting the player, it'll be called, we're going to be getting 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 5, which be the outside. So 5 parents. That would get you the player. So because, okay, script.parent, which would be the button. And then we're going to be calling the button's parent, which would be the kill GUI. And then the kill GUI's parent would be the admin GUI. And admin GUI's parent would be the starter GUI. But once the game has loaded, it'd be the player GUI. And now the player GUI's parent is the player. So sorry, I was just making sure. So we're going to call this .parent. So now it's actually pointed to game, but once this has changed and the game has loaded, it'll actually be the player. I really hope that makes sense. If it does not, then I'm sorry, I don't know how else to explain it. I guess just go along with what I have. Anyway, now that we've done that, we're going to say script.parent.mouse click. Now, I usually do mouse down, but recently I've changed to mouse click so that it's more accurate, I guess. So, we're going to connect the function, and then we're going to leave the parameters as nothing, because we won't really need it. So, now we're going to declare 2 more variables. The first variable would be the input. So we're going to say input, there you go, is equal to script.parent, which would be the kill GUI. Now we're going to get the input from the kill GUI. There you go. Now we're going to get the error, which would be the same thing as the input, but this time it's error. There you go. Now we're going to say if input.text is equal to blank, or, now there's 2 types of blanks, just in case the player has like just made a lot of spaces. It won't say that it has this. So we say, copy this, and we say this with a space. Then we give an error. So let's make a quick function so that we don't have to write what the error is in every single time. So show error, and we're going to be the text. Alright. And then error.text equals to toString, just in case that it's not a string, text. And then we're going to make the error visible equals to true, and we're going to wait I usually just give it a 4 seconds so that they can read it, and it'll disappear. Here, that visible false. Alright. Now we don't have to change the text because the next time that we'll call this, it'll automatically change from the first line. Okie dokie. So now we're going to say show error. We're going to say, please make sure that you have a valid player name. Alright. Now, most people might be doing this a little bit different, but I do this just because I'm also a web developer and I use PHP, so I'm used to this kind of way. Anyway, now if it has actual text inside, we're going to look inside the game to see if the player exists. So, now we're going to make a loop for player in pairs. Game.players, get children, or get players, that's better. Get players is better because, I don't know, you might have something different in the players folder, in this folder right here, so, yeah. So what this basically is doing is, looping through whatever is inside here and getting all the children. And each child will be called player. So now, if player.name is equal to input.text, then, and now, what I like to do is that, one second, let me reposition my mic, because you guys might not be able to hear me. Okay. Okay, now you should be able to hear me nice and loud. Okay, so, like I was saying, what I usually like to do is, make this string.lower so that the player's name is lowercase, and then the input text is lowercase as well, because so now it can match no matter what. Like, say that the player's name is Mike with a capital M, but then the what you search for is Mike with a lowercase. That wouldn't be the same. But if you put this as lowercase for both, it'll say Mike and Mike. There you go, it matches. Alright. So now we've done that, so that if they match, we'll do something here. We're going to kill the player. Alright, if they don't match, we're going to say show error. We're going to say the player you are looking for does not exist. Now, actually, I just remembered something. We're not going to put it here. Just because, once it's looping, if the first player that it's, looking at is not called Mike, for an example, then it'll show this error. So, we're going to say this after the loop. So, yeah, I think that will be good. Alright, now, we're we're going to kill the player. So let's get murdering. Now we're going to get the character of the player. So character is equal to game.players we're going to find first child. Oh, no. Not a good idea, because we already found it. Player.name. Now you might be wondering, well, since you already got the player from the loop, why are you getting the player again? This is how I learned how to script, and it's always worked, so I'm just showing you how it works. Now there's a lot of other ways that it can work. I'm just showing you the simplest way that I know. Alright. And now what we do is, if character, so if the character is valid, if the character is not destroyed, then we're going to get the humanoid, so character dot humanoid, that health is equal to 0. There you go. Now they're dead. Otherwise, well, let's not do that. But if but what I was going to say is that otherwise it'll just not do anything. But if I put an else statement, it'll just be pointless, because either way it's not going to do anything. So we're going to say return. Actually, else statement is important. Now I'll explain why. Why we put return is so that once the for loop is done and we find the player, then the function just ends, and it doesn't go on to this end, so it doesn't show this error, even though that you found the player and you've actually killed them. Or you didn't kill them because the character is equals to null. Anyway, I think everything's good now. Let us test. Oh, wait. One more thing. Now we're going to make this invisible. And we're going to add what we're going to do here. So, script.parent dot mouse button click. Well, mouse button one click, but you know. Function. And we're going to leave the parameters empty. My mind just went blank. Anyway, we're going to get the killed UI, which would be inside admin UI. So script.parent, which would be the button, .parent, which would be the main GUI, .parent, which would be the admin GUI. And now we're going to say killed UI. Now, see, it says killed UI because it does exist. Okay. Right. We're going to check. We're going to put an if statement so that if dot visible is equals to true, then let's make this shorter. Kill GUI is equal to, and then if the kill GUI is visible, then the kill GUI should be invisible. Otherwise, kill GUI would be visible. There you go. Yeah, let's just do this for now. Okay, now we're going to save this.